For the last couple of weeks, everyone's been freaking out about this $1,000 a year electric car tax that has been proposed in Illinois, and people were just losing their crap over this, seriously. And everyone was like, Alex, you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. And I was like, what do you want me to talk about? Is it a bad bill that they want to pass? I don't know if it's going to pass, but what, like, so they finally passed the bill, but it's not at $1,000 a year, which was going to be ridiculous anyway and kind of damaging. But I'll tell you what they actually passed, what the fee for electric cars is going to be. So they are implementing the fee, and let's analyze how it's stacked up against what people are paying if they had an a gas car in a gas tax, which this fee was supposed to kind of replace. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on the subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. And thank you to all of my Patreons right here who are watching me live, the only place where you can watch me live. But most importantly, you guys are essentially sponsoring, including, this is one of my latest Patreons, the unbiased part of this channel. So thank you so much for keeping it independent and for contributing. If you want to become a part of my Patreon community, there's a link in the description of this video. You can just copy it from here. All right, so state of Illinois, a home of Rivian, that's where Rivian's headquarters are. They've decided to, create this bill. They say, listen, we're going to tax electric cars at $1,000 a year. Everybody completely was like, wait, why? You're literally discouraging us to buy electric cars. Illinois is the state, I think it's 7th or 8th state in terms of electric car sales. They're obviously, part of this kind of electric car revolution. They're one of the states. They've signed up to I believe it's called Green Alliance, the alliance between the states that, despite the United States leaving the Paris Agreement, this was just kind of the states and cities that just kind of decided to abide by it anyway. So they are a green state as far as many people are concerned. So why would they do it? Well, a lot of people said that they did it because they wanted to implement an electric car tax. They just wanted to go all the way up to $1,000. So when they lower it, people will be like, oh, okay, then it's fine. Okay, so they've lowered it, and it's $100 a year. Now it's versus $0 before that, and people are still unhappy because a lot of us electric car owners think that we should be given sort of incentives and rebates rather than having the money go the other way, right? And there is some, it depends on which philosophy you subscribe to. Yes, it's a new technology. Yes, it's a technology that's good for everybody, especially who likes to breathe. But and there are quite a few different incentives, including in the state of Illinois. But you have to understand that the reason that they're implementing this is because we don't buy gas. We don't pay the tax that essentially goes to maintaining the roads and fixing the potholes and so forth. Now, yes, there's a philosophy out there that this is not the right way to keep up with the roads, and it's not even that fair because it's usually the bigger trucks that damage the road, and yet they don't really pay their fair share. But that aside, for now the status quo that it is a tax on gas that that goes into the budget for the states that and they fix the roads with it. That's just the way it is. Obviously, all of a sudden, electric cars, still driving on the roads. Believe it or not, they're not flying yet. So and they weren't paying the fair share of the tax, which I understand. Sorry, I just wanted to put my notes up because there are quite a few interesting things that are happening here. So it's $100. Now, what's been happening in Illinois is very odd because they've actually put more taxes on the gas, added more to gas car drivers than even this $100 tax on electric cars. So let me do some math and I'll tell you how it actually pans out. Before that, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. Check out the all-electric SUV coming to the US and Europe at the end of next year. Make sure you're part of the reservation list. It takes $0 to get on there. Over 50,000 people around the world have done it, including myself, and it takes about 60 seconds of your time. Just go to the description of this video. There's a link there. That way you can reserve your Byton today. Okay, so as I mentioned, by the way, Illinois is a state where Rivian does business, and them and Tesla turned out, stated they're against this. Why wouldn't they? And I don't even know if Rivian cares more about this state more than others. Probably their sales are going to come from California, especially in the beginning. But nevertheless, just wanted to mention that. And plus, I get to show this beautiful video of Rivian driving around that everybody loves. Okay, and I'll just keep it on for you guys. Now, so the state of Illinois hasn't raised its tax on gas tax, since like 1990s, and it was like 19 cents per gallon. Now they doubled it to 38 cents per gallon. Okay, well, let's do some math. Now they were already paying what amounts to about $102 a year, and I'm just kind of doing my own calculation, though a little bit generously. So according to the U.S. Department of Transportation, on average, an American person drives about 13,500 miles per year. The latest MPG is 25 miles per gallon. And I know there's new cars. The other cars are actually using more gas, but let's just be generous with our numbers. And so if you divide one by another and multiply by the 19 cents what they were already charging, that's $102 a year that people who have been driving gas cars were paying. Now they doubled that. So essentially, if you convert that, on average, an Illinois driver who drives a gas car would pay $204. Now, that's for $204 versus $100 that now an electric car owner would pay for essentially using the same roads. And to me, that still looks good for us electric car owners, but there is a loophole, which is kind of ridiculous. Guess what? The plug-in hybrids will be exempt. So essentially, you can have a plug-in hybrid like me. Like I've been driving my plug-in hybrid exclusively for the last 3 weeks, ever since I returned my Tesla at the end of its lease. And I've put probably like 3 gallons of gas in it in all this time. So essentially, if I was in Illinois, I would have paid like less than $1 in gas tax, and yet paid $0 in electricity because they're exempt. So it makes no sense. It's a loophole, but hey, I'll take it. If there are some electric cars that are going to be out there, and maybe a little bit of encouragement to buy a plug-in hybrid, like, well, Volt is almost done, but there's still a few relatively good ones there. So I don't know if there's too much logic behind it. I understand they had to kind of up their budget because they've been losing money. Cars use less gas, the inflation, they haven't changed their tax in a while. But overall, if we do calculations, the gas car owners on average pay more than double of what the electric car owners are going to pay moving forward, even with this new $100 electric car tax. So I think this is pretty fair. And on top of that, it's not $1,000 that everybody kind of was screaming and yelling about. And I personally thought that was just a game that they were playing with all of us, which turned out they did. Now, the game we're not playing with you guys is our VIP list. We're sure you should jump on there. Bonus articles every week. Deal of the month every week. We're gonna send. We're sending out yet another discount code for $50 off of this little cute thing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think about an extra tax like this just to make it fair? Or do you think it's unfair and we should get yet another break as electric car owners? Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, see you next time, and remember to stay charged.